Welcome to Nile-Sung Lullabies, a journey into the heart of Cairo, where ancient magic and modern life intertwine. Before we delve into the story of Amira, a young woman who discovers her heritage as a shaper of dreams, we'll begin with a short breathing guidance to help you settle into a state of relaxation. If you'd prefer to skip this section and go directly to the story, you can find the timestamps for each chapter in the description below. Now, find a comfortable position, whether you're lying in bed, nestled on the couch, or seated in your favorite chair. Let your body relax, releasing any tension you might be holding. Adjust your surroundings to create a peaceful atmosphere. Perhaps dim the lights, snuggle under a warm blanket, or ensure you won't be disturbed. Tonight, you'll follow Amira as she explores a hidden dreamscape guided by ancient lullabies and the wisdom of her grandmother, Laila. This is your time to unwind, to let go of the day's worries, and to embrace the tranquility of the night. Let's take a few soothing breaths together. Gently inhale through your nose, allowing the air to fill your lungs completely, but without strain. Feel your chest and belly softly expand. Then exhale slowly through your mouth, like a gentle sigh of relief. Imagine the breath as a calming wave washing over you, carrying away any lingering tension or stress. With each inhale, feel yourself becoming more relaxed, more at ease. With each exhale, let go a little more, sinking deeper into a state of peaceful rest. If your mind wanders, that's perfectly all right. Thoughts may come and go like whispers in the el-Khalili market. Simply acknowledge them without judgment and gently guide your attention back to the rhythm of your breath or the sound of my voice. There's nothing you need to do now except be present, allowing yourself to be carried away by the soothing melodies and the gentle magic of this story. Let the journey begin. Chapter 1. The Whispers of the Market. The el-Khalili market hummed with a life of its own, a symphony of gentle sounds that had echoed through its narrow alleyways for centuries. Sunlight filtered through intricately woven canopies, dappled the stalls with a warm golden light. Here, amidst a vibrant tapestry of colors and textures, lived Amira, a young woman whose heart beat in time with the ancient rhythm of Cairo. Her days were spent amidst the familiar scent of cardamom and cinnamon, the soft rustle of silk scarves, and the melodic calls of vendors, each a thread in the rich fabric of her life. Yet, lately, a subtle dissonance had begun to creep into the market's harmony. A restlessness stirred in the air, a weariness in the eyes of those around her, as if the city itself was slowly being deprived of slumber. Amira, too, felt the shift. Her usually vivid dreams had become fragmented, tinged with a sense of unease she couldn't quite place. She found herself drawn to the quiet moments, the gentle lapping of the Nile against the riverbanks at dusk, the soft glow of lanterns illuminating the ancient stones of nearby mosques, the distant melodic call to prayer that seemed to float on the evening breeze. These moments, fleeting as they were, offered a solace she couldn't find elsewhere. It was during one such evening, as the scent of jasmine drifted from a nearby garden, that her grandmother Laila noticed the subtle change in her granddaughter's demeanor. Laila, with her eyes that held the wisdom of generations, and a smile as warm as the desert sun, had always been a comforting presence in Amira's life. "Your spirit seems troubled, ya binti," Laila had said, her voice a soothing balm. Her hands, gnarled with age yet surprisingly gentle, reached out to take Amira's. The city sighs, and so does your heart. There's an old magic stirring, one that our family has long been connected to. That night, under a canopy of stars that shimmered like diamonds scattered across the velvet sky, Laila began to unveil a secret, a legacy passed down through generations of women in their family, the legacy of the shapers of dreams. They were not merely dreamers, she explained, but weavers of the very fabric of the dreamscape, gifted with the ability to enter the dreams of others and guide them towards tranquility. Laila herself, it turned out, was the last of their kind, or so she thought. Amira listened, mesmerized, as her grandmother spoke of a hidden world that existed alongside their own, a realm of ethereal landscapes and shifting emotions. Laila described it as a place where the anxieties and joys of humanity took form, where memories swirled like desert sands, and where the gentle power of lullabies could soothe even the most troubled minds. Our gift, Ya Amira, Laila explained, her voice soft yet filled with a profound sense of purpose, is to bring peace to this hidden world, and in doing so, to bring peace to the waking world as well. It was a gift, she revealed, that flowed through their lineage, carried within the melodies of ancient lullabies passed down from mother to daughter for centuries. The songs were a language of emotions. As Laila spoke, she retrieved an old, intricately carved oud from a dusty chest, an instrument that seemed to hum with a subtle inner light. Its wood was the color of dark honey, polished smooth by years of loving hands. This Habibti, Laila said, her eyes shining with a mixture of pride and a hint of sadness, is more than just an instrument. It is a key, a guide, and a companion on the path of dreams. The oud, she explained, had been crafted generations ago by a master artisan, infused with the very essence of the Nile's magic. It was said to amplify the power of the lullabies, allowing the shaper of dreams to navigate the dreamscape with greater ease and influence. The music would become her compass. But why now? Amira wondered aloud, her voice filled with a mixture of awe and apprehension. Why, after all these years, is this gift awakening in me? Laila smiled, a knowing glint in her eyes. The city, Amira, she said, gesturing towards the bustling market beyond their quiet courtyard, is losing its ability to dream peacefully. A disharmony has fallen upon the land, and the Wellspring of Slumber, the heart of the dreamscape, is in need of a gentle hand. It was then that Amira understood her purpose, the reason for the unsettling dreams and the growing restlessness she felt within herself and those around her. The ancient magic was calling, and she, Amira, was the one chosen to answer. She would be taught how to use her abilities for the good of those around her. Chapter 2. Echoes in the Lullaby. The next few days were a blur of whispered lullabies and the gentle strumming of the ancient oud. Laila, with the patience of a desert flower blooming under the harshest sun, guided Amira through the initial steps of her extraordinary inheritance. She taught her that each lullaby was not merely a collection of notes, but a story, a journey, a vessel of emotions. Some were like the gentle lapping of the Nile, designed to soothe troubled minds, while others were like the warm desert breeze, meant to carry away worries and anxieties on their ethereal currents. Each note held a particular meaning, and when combined, they became powerful. Amira found that the melodies resonated deep within her, awakening a part of her she never knew existed. It called to something deep within her. Laila gifted Amira the oud, its smooth, honey-colored wood warm and comforting beneath her fingertips. As Amira held the instrument, she felt a strange sense of familiarity, as if it were an extension of herself, a forgotten limb. "This oud, ya Amira," Laila explained, "has been passed down through generations of shapers of dreams in our family. It has absorbed the echoes of countless lullabies, the joys and sorrows of 1,000 dreamers." The instrument seemed to hum in response, a low, resonant vibration that Amira felt deep within her bones. It was as if she had held it before, despite this being the first time. She felt its importance. That night, under a sky strewn with 1,000,000 shimmering stars, Laila began to teach Amira the most important lullaby of all, the Song of the Wellspring. It was an ancient melody, said to have been composed by the first shaper of dreams, a woman who had walked the banks of the Nile under the watchful gaze of the very first pharaohs. As Laila's voice, aged yet filled with a haunting beauty, wove the ancient notes, Amira felt a strange sensation wash over her, a feeling of profound peace, of sinking into a warm, comforting embrace. The room filled with a soft golden glow, and a gentle humming sound filled her ears. "Close your eyes, ya binti," Laila whispered, her hand resting gently on Amira's. "Let the music guide you. Let it carry you to the threshold of the dreamscape. Do not be afraid, for the lullaby will protect you." With a deep breath, Amira obeyed. As the last notes of the lullaby faded, she felt a sensation of gentle falling, as if she were drifting on a calm, moonlit river. The sounds of the market faded away, replaced by a profound silence, broken only by the gentle whisper of her own breath. The air became thick with a magical feeling. When she opened her eyes, Amira found herself in a world unlike any she had ever seen. It was a landscape of shifting sands and shimmering mirages, bathed in the soft ethereal glow of a moon that seemed far larger and closer than the one she knew. The air hummed with a subtle energy, and the silence was not empty, but filled with the gentle whispers of unseen presences. Amira realized with a start that she was no longer in her physical body, but in a form composed of light and shadow, a being of pure consciousness. She was, in a way, a ghost. "Welcome, ya Amira," a voice, soft as the rustling of papyrus reeds, echoed around her, "to the Wellspring of Slumber." Amira turned to see a figure emerging from the shimmering sands, a woman, tall and graceful, her form composed of the same ethereal light that permeated the dreamscape. Her eyes, the color of the twilight sky, held a deep, ancient wisdom. "I am one of the whispers," she said, her voice a melodic chime, "a guardian of this sacred place. Your grandmother, Laila, has sent you to us. We have long awaited your arrival." The figure smiled, and Amira felt a wave of reassurance wash over her, calming the initial apprehension she had felt upon entering this strange, beautiful, and unsettling new realm. She was there to help them. Chapter 3. The Garden of Lost Slumber. The Whisper, who introduced herself as Serene, led Amira through the dreamscape. The landscape shifted and flowed like the dunes of the desert under a moonlit sky. They walked, along pathways that shimmered like heat haze, past towering sandstone structures that resembled ancient Egyptian temples, yet seemed to dissolve and reform as they approached. The dreamscape, Selene explained, her voice a gentle melody, reflects the collective unconscious of Cairo. It is a world built from memories, hopes, and fears, a place where the echoes of the past mingle with the anxieties of the present. Amira listened, enthralled, trying to wrap her head around all of this. As they journeyed deeper into the dreamscape, Amira noticed a growing sense of unease in the air. The ethereal light that permeated the realm seemed to flicker and dim, and the gentle whispers that had initially surrounded them became tinged with a subtle dissonance. The Wellspring of Slumber, Selene explained, her voice tinged with a hint of sorrow, is the heart of this realm. It is where peaceful dreams are nurtured, where the city's collective anxieties are soothed and transformed into tranquility. But the wellspring, she revealed, had fallen into a state of neglect, its once vibrant energy now weak and fading. The Guardians were doing everything they could. Selene guided Amira to a hidden oasis within the dreamscape, a place that felt strangely familiar to the young dreamweaver. It resembled a traditional Egyptian garden, with date palms, fragrant jasmine bushes, and a central pool of water that shimmered under the ethereal moonlight. Yet the garden was overgrown and neglected. The once vibrant flowers had wilted, the pool was stagnant, and the air, instead of being filled with a sweet scent of blossoms, held a faint, unsettling odor of decay. A sense of melancholy hung heavy in the air, a palpable manifestation of the city's sleeplessness. This was not a place of rest. "This," Selene said, her voice barely above a whisper, "is the Wellspring of Slumber. Or rather," she added with a sigh, "what remains of it. It has fallen into ruin, and with it the dreams of Cairo have become troubled and restless." Amira gazed at the dilapidated garden, a sense of determination rising within her. She remembered Laila's words, the urgency in her voice as she spoke of the city's need for peaceful dreams. Amira now understood the task that lay before her. She had to restore the wellspring, to heal the heart of the dreamscape, and in doing so, bring tranquility back to the waking world. The task seemed monumental. "How can I restore it?" Amira asked, her voice filled with a mixture of apprehension and resolve. Selene smiled, a gentle, reassuring gesture. "With the same power that created it," she replied, "with the power of the lullabies, the ancient melodies that hold the key to shaping this realm." She explained that the shapers of dreams had always been the guardians of the wellspring, using their gift to nurture peaceful dreams and soothe the anxieties of humanity. "The lullabies," Selene continued, "are not merely songs but tools, instruments of creation and healing. They can calm the troubled waters of the dreamscape, coax life back into the withered garden, and weave new dreams from the threads of hope and tranquility." The whispers would also offer her their help. Amira looked at the withered garden, then back at Selene, her heart filled with a newfound sense of purpose. She reached for the oud, its familiar weight a comfort in this strange and surreal realm. As her fingers found the strings, she closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and began to play. The melody that flowed from the instrument was not one she had learned from Laila, but a new song, born from the depths of her own heart, a lullaby of hope, of healing, of the gentle peace she wished to bring to the city she loved. It was a start. Chapter 4. The Threads of Restless Nights. As the melody of Amira's new lullaby filled the air, the Wellspring of Slumber responded. The stagnant water in the central pool began to ripple, the withered flowers lifted their heads, and a faint, sweet fragrance of jasmine and lotus blossoms began to permeate the air. It was a slow, gradual transformation, like the first rays of dawn chasing away the shadows of the night. The music seemed to be working, albeit slowly. Amira continued to play, her heart filled with a quiet hope, her fingers moving across the strings of the oud with newfound confidence. The melody flowed from her, a soothing balm, a gentle caress, a whispered promise of peace. She put her soul into the song. Serene and the other whispers, ethereal beings of pure light and sound, joined Amira in her efforts. They hummed along with the lullaby, their voices blending with the music of the oud, creating a symphony of serenity that echoed through the dreamscape. As they sang, they began to weave intricate patterns of light, delicate threads of shimmering energy that danced and swirled around the garden. These, Serene explained, are the threads of dreams. They are the raw materials from which dreams are made, the essence of emotions, memories, and hopes. The whispers showed her how to use her music to guide them. Amira noticed that some of the threads were dark and tangled, knotted with worry and fear. These, Serene explained, were the source of the city's restless nights, the manifestations of the anxieties that plagued the waking world. They were like weeds, choking the life out of the wellspring, preventing peaceful dreams from blossoming. To heal the wellspring, Serene said, her voice soft yet filled with a profound understanding of the dreamscape. You must untangle these knots, ya Amira. You must transform these threads of fear into threads of hope, threads of worry into threads of peace. It would be hard work to make a change. Amira, guided by Serene and the other whispers, began the painstaking process of untangling the knots. She learned to identify the different emotions woven into the threads, the sharp, jagged edges of fear, the heavy, suffocating weight of worry, the restless, twitching energy of stress. With each note of her lullaby, she gently coaxed the knots to loosen, the dark threads to soften and unravel. It was a delicate dance, a slow, patient process of transforming negativity into peace, one thread at a time. She found it to be emotionally taxing work. As she worked, Amira discovered that each knot held a story, a fragment of a memory, a whisper of a fear from the waking world. One knot, for instance, held the anxiety of a young student worried about his exams. Another, the fear of a shopkeeper struggling to make ends meet. And yet another, the loneliness of an elderly woman living alone in her apartment in the heart of Cairo. Amira treated each knot with care, understanding, and compassion. She used her music to soothe the anxieties, to offer comfort and reassurance, to weave a sense of hope into the very fabric of the dream. With each knot she untangled, the wellspring of slumber blossomed further. The pool of water became clearer, reflecting the ethereal light of the dreamscape like a polished mirror. The flowers bloomed in a riot of colors, their sweet fragrance filling the air, and the gentle murmur of unseen life returned to the garden. The air, once heavy with melancholy, now thrummed with a quiet energy, a sense of peace that seemed to seep into Amira's very being. It was working. She could feel the change. Chapter 5. A Symphony of Serenity. The transformation of the Wellspring of Slumber neared its completion. The once neglected garden now pulsed with life, a vibrant oasis of tranquility in the heart of the dreamscape. Flowers bloomed in a riot of colors, their petals unfurling like delicate silk banners. The central pool shimmered with crystal-clear water, reflecting the ethereal light of the dreamscape like 1,000 scattered diamonds. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of jasmine, lotus, and 100 other blossoms, a symphony of scents that soothed the soul and calmed the mind. It was a paradise, now filled with life. Amira, guided by Selene and the whispers, had untangled the last of the knots, the final vestiges of the city's anxieties. The threads of dreams, once dark and discordant, now flowed freely, shimmering with a soft golden light. They wove themselves into tapestries of peaceful scenes, children laughing as they played in sun-drenched courtyards, families sharing meals under the shade of ancient trees, lovers strolling hand in hand along the banks of the Nile under a starlit sky. The sense of peace was almost overwhelming. As the final thread was smoothed, a profound silence fell over the wellspring, a stillness that was not empty but nearing to with a sense of deep peace and fulfillment. Then, from the heart of the garden, a single clear note resonated, a sound of pure, unadulterated serenity. It was followed by another and another, until the air was filled with a symphony of tranquility, a chorus of peace that echoed through the dreamscape, reaching out to the sleeping minds of Cairo. It was a lullaby of hope, a melody of dreams fulfilled. Selene and the whispers gathered around Amira, their ethereal forms shimmering with a soft inner light. "You have done well, Ya Amira," Selene said, her voice filled with warmth and gratitude. "You have healed the Wellspring of Slumber, and in doing so, you have brought peace back to the city. The Shaper of Dreams has returned." Amira felt a surge of joy, a sense of accomplishment that transcended anything she had ever experienced. It was a feeling of profound connection, of having touched the lives of countless others in a way that truly mattered. She had made a real difference. With the wellspring restored, Amira's time in the dreamscape was coming to an end. As she prepared to return to the waking world, Selene offered her a parting gift, a single luminous lotus blossom, its petals shimmering with the colors of the dawn. "This, Ya Amira," she said, "is a reminder of the peace you have found here, a symbol of the hope you have brought to the city. May it guide you on your path, and may it always remind you of the power that lies within you." It was a parting gift, a memento. As the first rays of dawn touched the ancient stones of Cairo, Amira awoke in her own bed, the familiar sounds of the Khan el-Khalili market filtering through her window. In her hand, she held the lotus blossom, its ethereal glow a tangible reminder of her journey into the dreamscape. The city outside was still, wrapped in the peaceful embrace of a restful sleep. Amira knew with a certainty that settled deep within her heart that she would continue to be the guardian of Cairo's dreams, the shaper of dreams, a weaver of peace in a world that often seemed to forget how to dream. And as she drifted off to sleep once more, she could hear the faint, sweet melody of a lullaby, a song of hope carried on the gentle breeze, a promise of peaceful slumber for all. The city was safe.